what's up guys? This is Munir Lazuni with AML Fitco Elite Fitness Coaching. Today, we're going to be talking about my top 3 exercises with the foam roller to perform before doing squats. So the first one is going to be your calves. Ankle mobility is a key component of your squat, and so it's very important that we optimize your ankle mobility by rolling out your calves. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your ankle on top of the roller. Most people are going to need a little more intensity, so the weight of your other leg on top. From there, we're going to roll from your ankle to the back of your knee over your entire calf and ankle area. Now from there, you're going to identify the tightest spot, otherwise known as the most tender spot in that calf. We're going to pin that down and take the calf through a localized stretch in that area while being pinned down by the roller. So you can either do 10 back and forth motions with your ankle, or if you feel it better when you do circles, which most people will, you can do 10 circles. So this shouldn't take you more than 30 seconds, but you also shouldn't rush through it, because if you go too fast, you're going to contract the calf out of the roller, and it's not going to give you that deep localized stretch that the foam roller is good for. Okay? Now, you may find that your inner calf is more tight, your outer calf is more tight. If you need more pressure, you can lift your hips up with your hands. If you need less pressure, you can take your other hand off. But you're going to do that for both calves, so it should take you about a minute total, 30 seconds for each side. Next up, we're going to work into our quads and our hip flexors. So when the quads get tight, which they often do from sitting long hours, which 99% of people do, this can start to pull on our lower back and cause issues when we're squatting and really doing any other exercises. Even just walking, our lower back can hurt due to tight quads pulling on our hip, which thus pulls on our back because it's pulling through this kinetic chain. So the hips are also right there, so we're going to lump them in with the quads. So you're going to roll over your entire thigh, identifying the tight spots in your hip, as well as the tight spots going closer to your knee. Okay? So find the tightest spot in your quad, and you're just going to do 10 knee bends. Now if this hurts way too much in the beginning, which it probably will, you can ease into it by just doing that ankle movement again, letting the quad get used to the idea of working with the foam roller. But after you've done this for a couple of weeks, you'll be able to go right into those knee bends. Okay? So you're going to do 10 of those, 10 for each of these exercises. It's a great routine to stick to, even though the number is arbitrary. From there, we're going to go into our hip. Usually the TFL or the other various areas in the hip are going to be the tight spots. So we're going to bend our leg to a 90-degree angle, and we're going to rotate the hip. So try to keep your other hip stationary. You can see mine is moving just a little bit, but I'm trying to keep it stationary and just work on the rotation of my hip. So that rotation is going to look like this, right? Just from another angle. So I'm rotating my hips, not just moving my entire body. Now lastly, my other top 3, or my third of the top 3 is going to be the upper back opener. So you'll see this video throughout many different tutorials on my channel, and I believe it's an essential because we live in a society in which we spend lots of time on our cell phones, on our computers, hunched over, and our upper back starts to become tight and hunched forward in this position of flexion. To lift safely, we need to have our upper back in a position of extension, and this is going to help us squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, pull-ups, everything else safely and healthily. So to open up the upper back, what you're going to do is you're going to start just by rolling out your upper back. Try not to roll on your lower back, as that could potentially cause injury. There are differing opinions on the subject, but try to avoid your lower back. You're just going to roll over that upper. Now that should feel pretty good, but we're going to pause on the fulcrum point, or the lowest point of your upper back, right before it comes to your lower back. So not your shoulder blades, not your lower back, but right between those two. So find the shoulder blades and go right below the shoulder blades at the lowest point of your upper spine. From there, we're going to lean back as far as we can. Now notice one thing, is my butt coming off the ground? No, my butt stays anchored on the ground, okay? That's one key component so that you can create that contrast and open up your back. You're going to feel your entire rib cage stretching out on doing that sitting posture you may have developed throughout the day or throughout the years of the sitting lifestyle or being on your cell phone. Okay, so we're going to start off by just doing 10 reaches back like that. So you can see from this angle, my butt stays on the ground. I'm leaning back, trying to bring my head and shoulders towards the ground. Okay, now after you've done 10 of those, you're going to stay down and back, and you're going to do side bends. So you're bringing your elbow to your side. 10 of those as well, 10 for each of these movements. And lastly, 10 twists. So we're working on all planes of motion. Forward and back, side to side, and twisting. I'll show you guys the side to side and twisting from another angle. Then I'm going to give you guys some bonuses. So once again, forward and back 10 times, side to side at the lowest position 10 times, twisting at the lowest position 10 times. And those are the top 3. So if you don't have chronic pain or any injuries or anything, and you're just trying to maintain a healthy body in a society in which we're in unnatural positions like sitting or being in front of our cell phones, that's all you need. That's all I'm gonna make you do, because it's only gonna take you a minute or two for each one. So it's gonna be very time efficient in your warm-up. Now, for those of you with chronic injuries or chronic pain, you're going to have to perform more than just 3 foam rolling exercises before you're able to squat optimally and safely. And I fall into that category where I've experienced injuries before and I get very tight. And so there are 2 other essentials that I like to perform, which are the adductors and the glutes. This allows me to use my glutes instead of my lower back when I'm squatting, and it allows me to use my glutes instead of my adductors when I'm squatting. So the thing is, our glutes tend to turn off when we spend a lot of time sitting. And the glutes are very important for protecting our knees and back. Plus, even if you don't want to have a big butt, you don't want to have a flabby butt either, right? Even if you're a guy. So to roll out your glutes, it's actually very simple and easy. You're going to sit on the roller and roll over your entire butt. That's where your glute is located in your butt. From there, you may have 2 tight spots, one up here by your back, one down here by your hip, okay? Today I'm feeling this mostly in my hip, but you can address both spots if you feel they're necessary. This spot is usually associated more with knee pain because you have altered biomechanics in your hip to knee, versus when your upper glutes are sore, it can potentially pull on your back and cause painful back bumps and back pain injuries. So I'm just going to address this spot right here. So there are 2 movements you can do. One, you can just rotate your hip by bringing your knee to your chest. That doesn't really do a whole lot, and it's not the most effective way of getting all the way in there, but you know what? If your glutes are really tight, that might be all you can do. From there, I like to go hip extension, hip flexion, hip extension, hip flexion, and even add some rotation. That's going to work into that glute and give you localized stretch, turning on the muscle, getting blood flow, and also stretching it out so it can be in a more natural and biomechanically efficient position. Now for the adductors, it can be similar to the quads in our positioning, but we're just going to use the side position here. Okay, so we're going to roll all the way into the groin, right? So you may be tight up there, more of your adductor magnus, or you might be tight closer to the knee, which could actually be more of your sartorius, which is a muscle that performs some of the same functions and can pull your knee inward, turning off your glutes and potentially injuring your knees when you're doing squats. And you're going to see in the squat video, we don't want our knees coming in, we want our knees going out so that we can sit between our knees and get a full depth on the squat. Okay, so those 2 are they're not mandatory. Only 3 of those exercises are mandatory. And for full videos and other foam rolling exercises, check out my YouTube channel, A Munir L, all one word, A Munir L. I hope you guys enjoy. Squat safely and don't skip your foam rolling exercises, because even if you don't have pain today, in 20 years you're going to thank yourself that your body's still healthy and you're not one of these meatheads who's been lifting for 20 years whose body hurts like hell. I mean, you've all seen him at the gym, the 40-year-old dude or the 50-year-old dude whose shoulder's messed up, his hips are messed up, and he can't do anything anymore. All right? You don't want that to be you. And if you're already there and you're in your 40s, or if you're even in your 30s or 20s and you already have chronic pain, such as myself, then you definitely need to take care of this before you squat. But guys, take care of at least 3. If you're injured, 5 to 7 foam rolling exercises. Don't spend too long on it, but don't skip out on either and don't rush it. Enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.